was interesting when we're thinking about the logo, one of the things that really resonated with us was a picture of my grandfather's shoes.
We actually only have 2 pictures of my grandfather, my dad's father. I came across this picture of him. He's just standing there so distinguished in a suit, and I noticed his feet were positioned a certain way. And the story of his shoes was so significant to us because that's how my father found out that his father was killed during the war.
We had always heard this story about my grandfather. And during the war, my dad, when he was hiding in the forest, there was always a family, the Pewatt family, that had helped him. And when Mr. Pewatt couldn't come to the forest, his son-in-law came. And one time his son-in-law came, and my grandmother noticed his shoes. And my grandmother said, "Where'd you get those shoes?" And he said, "You don't want to know. Don't worry about it." And she says, "No, really, tell me, where'd you get the shoes? I want to know."
And he says, basically, when you left and escaped to go to the ghetto, they took all the Polish men, they rounded us up, and they put us on trucks, and they took us out to a forest, and they told us to dig a big hole. And this hole was now filled, unfortunately, with dead bodies.
And the Nazis told them, as a thank you or as payment for your services, you can go and pick one article of clothing out of everything that you see discarded on the side. And he noticed my grandfather's shoes. And he knew that because he worked with my grandfather and he knew what his shoes looked like. And so he took those shoes for the memory of the man that he knew, because this man was always so kind and so respectful. And so he wanted to be able to walk in his shoes.
A hiker discovered the grave, the mass grave, because I guess somebody took a tombstone and they engraved on a tombstone 250 lives were mass murdered in this location.
Some people, and it was more than one person, anonymously went back and put that headstone there to signify and to not let anybody forget what happened here, knowing that it may take a very long time for anybody to ever discover it.
To know that an individual felt so strong about my grandfather, to know and be so proud to be able to wear the shoes of a man that he looked up to, it means the world to me.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the inaugural Empower Through Education Gala. We would have loved to be together in person to celebrate our first anniversary of the foundation. However, in these trying times, the silver lining is that we are able to reach so many more people nationally by being virtual. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ann Arnold.
And I'm Isabella Fisk. Over the last few years, we have shared our father's story of survival during the Holocaust with schools throughout the country. In our travels, we realized there's a lack of funds available to teachers to bring in necessary programming to teach about the Holocaust. That is why we created the Mark Schonwetter Holocaust Education Foundation.
Our father Mark has made it his life's mission to spread the message of hope and kindness throughout the retelling of his own survival story. Tonight we will hear from some teachers whose students had the opportunity to learn about Mark's story. Each one will share the impact felt by their students after hearing firsthand from a survivor.
Right now, the need for Holocaust education is greater than ever. According to the ADL, the American Jewish community experienced the highest level of anti-Semitic incidents last year since tracking began in 1979, with more than 2,100 acts of assault, vandalism, and harassment reported across the United States.
This is why we are so thankful to each of you for your supporting our organization. Your donation allows us to fund grants to schools throughout the entire country. Just $250 helps provide schools the ability to host a Holocaust survivor speaker assembly.
We are so excited that we have raised over $85,000 so far. And with your help, we will be able to reach our goal by night's end. So at any time during the evening, you can scan the QR code shown or click the donate button on your screen to help support our mission. We would like to take a moment and give a special thank you to our Making a Difference sponsor, Wells Fargo Advisors. And our kindness and respect sponsor, Air Group and the Sobel Kaplan family. Our Spreading the Message sponsors, H. Arnold Wood Turning, the Lapkin Foundation, Shaneco, ISF Jewels, Vornado Realty Trust, Shire Dental Group, Novell, Sandra Ash, Bruce Supply Company, Nancy and Andrew Wayne, Sudler Family Foundation, Michael and Holly Ash, and the Cordova Family Fund, Valerie and Rob Katz. And to all our Using Your Voice tribute supporters and everyone else that has contributed so far, this event and our efforts would not be possible without you. Thank you.
Despite the hatred our father experienced as such a young child, he has always shared a message of kindness, respect, and love. We know that through educating our children and helping to share that message, we can make a difference in this world. Before we continue tonight, here is a word from our Board of Trustees and Grant Committee members.
Welcome. We are delighted that you are able to join us this evening for the Mark Schonwetter Holocaust Education Foundation's virtual gala.
Although this was not the way we anticipated celebrating our first annual event, your health and safety is our top priority.
We are grateful for all the support we've received during an inaugural year. With your help, we can continue to award grants to teachers nationwide
to bring in the necessary funding to implement Holocaust education into their curriculum.
Learning about the Holocaust teaches students about the past to make a difference in the future. We cannot celebrate without thanking all of you.
Whether you supported the Mark Schonwetter Holocaust Education Foundation since the beginning
or have joined our cause more recently, it is because of you
that we're able to be here today. Tonight,
sit back, relax, and help us celebrate as we
empower through education.
I live on a chain. You share the same last name. Hi, Ellie B. Come here. This is my daughter, Ellie B. She's 5 years old. She's about the same age that Mark was when he was forced to flee his home and go on the run. I want to thank everybody for being here tonight and supporting this important work that the Mark Schonwetter Foundation does. Holocaust education is in great need these days because, unfortunately, all the data points to the younger generations are unaware of the details of this. And obviously, if we forget the past, we're doomed to repeat stuff like that in the future. So thank you for supporting the Mark Schonwetter Holocaust Education Foundation. All you people who have supported this evening and beyond, very grateful. All right, I'll play a couple tunes for you, all right? Be right back.
Pete, your words are so true. According to a recent study conducted by the Claims Conference, 49% of millennials are unable to name a single concentration camp. 66% have never even heard of Auschwitz. These disturbing findings are what makes our work so important. This is why we need your support. Don't forget to scan the QR code or click the donate button to make your contribution. Thanks again, Pete, and we look forward to hearing a couple of songs from you later on tonight.
When the coronavirus hit, we were forced to figure out the new normal. Teachers around the country had to adapt on the fly. Trying to educate our children through remote learning has been a tall task. However, thanks to technology, we were still able to share stories from Holocaust survivors with students. It was amazing to hear how those stories of loneliness, isolation, and survival resonated so clearly with the students during this pandemic. Debbie Maller at Rahway High School shared her students' experience after partnering with the foundation.
Hi, I'm Debbie Maller. I teach Holocaust and Genocide Studies at Rahway High School. When the pandemic hit, I had to find ways that we could reach our students. And I contacted Anne and her father, Mark, to possibly do something that we hadn't done before, which was use a platform such as this to present to my students. And that's exactly what we did. And not only did my students attend, but many people from the outside, including survivors from Rwanda that came in to listen to Mark, and administrators. And I must say, the way he connected to my students and made them feel that they were not alone, especially under these circumstances. And I would like to just tell you about some of the letters that the students wrote, which talked mostly about the fact that many of them were immigrants to this country as their parents were. And they so appreciated the fact that Mark talked about coming to the United States, not speaking a word of English, and yet making a successful life. And that resonated with so many of my students, as well as the fact that we were quarantined then, as we are now, and Mark was able to connect with them and give them a sense of hope that there is going to be a tomorrow. One student in particular spoke about the fact that what resonated with her the most was the fact that Mark focused on the people that helped him, and that those that helped rather than remain silent or stand by. So thank you, Mark. Thank you, Anne, for all that you do. I appreciate you so much and hope that you'll come and visit my class again, because this is a new semester. So congratulations. This is well-deserved. And it was a pleasure to speak with you, even if it was just virtually, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Debbie. It's always amazing when you hear the lessons that each student takes away from a meeting with a Holocaust survivor. Those lessons of incredible courage and gratitude in the face of adversity should never be forgotten.
One of the things that we've seen throughout our time running the foundation is that the lessons have a lasting impact. That has helped us develop ongoing relationships with schools around the country, where we return year after year to speak to a new group of students. Our visits have become a yearly tradition at Midland Park Public Schools, where the staff and students are always captivated by the stories.
Hi, my name is Craig Rush, and I'm the Student Assistance Counselor for Midland Park Public Schools in Bergen County, New Jersey. Back in 2014, I first had the pleasure of meeting Isabella Fisk and her father, Mark Schonwetter. They have been speaking to our students at Midland Park Junior Senior High School each and every year for the last 7 years. Mark shares his story of Holocaust survival with dignity, sincerity, kindness, and love. Mark's message is one of inspiration, inclusiveness, and hope for humanity. We are very grateful for the precious time that Mark and his daughter Isabella spend with our students each school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig, and thank you to all our donors so far this evening. Each of those dollars has a tangible impact on Holocaust education. Every $500 raised tonight helps provide a set of books for an entire classroom. If you haven't donated yet and would like to, just click the donate button or scan the QR code to help us empower through education.
Next up tonight, a few words from our close friends and supporters.
The Sobel and Kaplan families are proud to support the Mark Schonwetter Holocaust Education Foundation. The work the foundation is doing is so vital, and today more than ever, their message of promoting kindness and respect is so important. We want to wish Mark congratulations on receiving the Voice of Kindness Award.
This award is most appropriate for Mark. Kindness best describes what Mark stands for. He is the most gentle, warm, considerate, and compassionate man with the biggest heart of gold.
Now we are so excited to introduce someone that is very special to our family, singer, songwriter, and musician, the very talented Pete Yorn.
1, 2. All right, by the way, my name's Pete Yorn. This is a song about family, I think. It's called Life in a Chain. And how we're all connected, you know? I live on a chain, and you share the same last name. As a child, I sent a bottle away. I was alone. You were just around the corner from me. Time alone is good. I spend my day in the city, in a dirty neighborhood. You know you'll never convince me. Sold the town away. I couldn't wait to forget you. I was killed in half a day. I hadn't time to regret you. Yeah, I was waiting over here for life to begin. New thing, and you were the sunshine, head in my front line. I was alone, you were just around the corner from me. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm going to do one more song for you by request. Again, thanks everyone for supporting the Mark Schonwetter Holocaust Education Foundation. It's important work. I had the great pleasure of doing a Zoom with him a few weeks ago, and it was such an honor to speak with him and hear his story, and just puts everything in perspective, you know? All right, this is called Crystal Village. I sang this a while ago for my man Josh Fisk when he was having a rough go of it. I'm glad he's doing better now. Take my hand, come with me into this crystal scenery, and wait till I retain the ticket. 'Cause you will never have the time. I would love to change your mind. You were there, and it was good in the beginning. Take my hand, see the lights arranging twilight sages, commence to reveal it to the other. 'Cause you will never have the time. I would love to change your mind. You were there, and it was good in the beginning. Yeah, we were there, we were good in the beginning.
into this crystal village and see the light so bright in brightness. 'Cause you will never have the time. I would love to change your mind. You were there, and it was good in the beginning. Take my hand, come with me. I see the light so brightly, and we fall as if we never really mattered. 'Cause you will never have the time. I would love to change your mind. You were there, and it was good in the beginning. We were there, we were good in the beginning. Got it, It was good in the beginning. It was good in the beginning. It was good in the beginning. Yeah, take my hand. It was good in the beginning. Take my hand. It was good in the beginning. Take my hand. It was good in the beginning. Take my hand. Oh, yeah.
Thanks everybody for your support tonight. All right.
Thanks, Pete. That was amazing. Thank you for supporting such a great cause. We at Wells Fargo Advisors understand the importance of teaching our children about the Holocaust so they can learn from it and make a better world for us in the future. Teachers lack the funds needed to bring in the necessary books and programs to educate our students. That's why Wells Fargo Advisors is a proud supporter of the Mark Schonwetter Holocaust Education Foundation. Join us in this valuable mission of promoting kindness and respect through Holocaust education. And now I'm happy to introduce someone that truly knows the importance of Holocaust education, Elise Shane-Brown, Director of Holocaust Education and Newark Initiatives of Jewish Federation of Greater Metro West.
Good evening. My name is Elise Shane-Brown, and I am the Director of Holocaust Education for the Jewish Federation of Greater Metro West. Being asked to say a few words about Mark Schonwetter and his devotion to Holocaust education is truly a special honor for me. Over the past several years, I have had the privilege to speak with Mark at countless schools, universities, synagogues, and even on buses to Washington, D.C. There is no doubt that all of those individuals, both young and old, are changed and altered by having heard the remarkable story of young Monik and his sister being saved in Poland by their courageous mother, Sala. Yet it is not just the telling of his story that makes listening and learning from Mark so special. It is the way he interacts with people, especially students, that I know stays with them forever. Coincidentally, the last in-person event that I had before our world went into quarantine was with Mark on Thursday, March 12th. A few young boys had gotten themselves into some trouble for anti-Semitic posts. The local police department called me and asked if I had a survivor to speak with them. I immediately thought of Mark, and when I asked, he did not hesitate. Mark spent over 2 hours with those boys. He talked with them, he was serious with them, and at the same time, he laughed with them and made jokes with them and let them know that they were there with him to learn, not to be punished. And when we were finished and we said our goodbyes, not knowing when we would do something like this again, Mark smiled and shrugged and said, if I just changed those 2 boys' opinions, then this was all worth it. There'll be more time to tell my story again. And Mark was right. At first, with our current pandemic, we thought that all survivors speaking in schools would end. But not Mark. He picked up immediately. He learned to use Zoom and was speaking to students within days. The love and devotion that Mark shows for ensuring that his family's story and the destruction and loss that the Holocaust brought is never forgotten is what makes Mark the incredible individual that he is. As the years fade away from the Holocaust, it is a gift that we have the Mark Schonwetter Holocaust Education Foundation. It is Mark's influence and purpose that will allow educators to continue to teach the Holocaust for generations to come. Mark, I thank you from the bottom of my heart for all you have done to make our world a better place, for telling your story, for letting your message be heard, and for instilling in your own children, Anne and Isabella, and thousands of others, the light that makes this world a better place. Thank you.
Tomorrow is International Holocaust Remembrance Day. 76 years ago, Auschwitz-Birkenau was liberated. When survivors visit schools to talk to students, it is always amazing to see the impact those stories have, not just on the kids, but also the adults who participate in the lessons.
Right now, the lessons of hope in the face of adversity is something we can all use as we find ourselves in the middle of a pandemic. Teacher Steve Goodstein shares that lesson through a letter from one of his students.
My name is Steve Goodstein. I'm a recently retired teacher from Lewis M. Klein Middle School in Harrison, New York. Mark, I first want to congratulate you on your Voices of Kindness Award. There's no more deserving person. During my 32-year career as a teacher, I have had some incredible experiences. One of the most significant experiences is meeting you, Mark, and having you come to my school for several years and speak to the students about your incredible life story. One of the students was able to comment on this, and they learned some very important lessons from you. Here's what the student said. One prominent lesson that LMK students should have taken away from the experience of having a Holocaust survivor come to our school is learning that hope is imperative in overcoming adverse situations. When Holocaust survivor Mark Schonwetter lived in Poland during the Holocaust, he and his family faced difficult situations that far surpassed what many of us have faced and ever will face in our lifetimes. To most, these circumstances that Mark Schonwetter endured seemed unfathomable. What is the point of going on, your average person might think. But yet Mark and his family did not give up. He found hope. In the midst of all of the horrific things that Mark and his family faced, they were able to cling to hope, and this hope fueled the fire that saved his family. And it is this hope that is something that all LMK students should try to have in their lives. Whenever we encounter a difficult situation, all of us need to try and be more like Mark Schonwetter. We need to find hope that things will get better. Although this may seem like an impossible feat for some, just remember, next time you are struggling with something in life, be optimistic and find hope to help you get through everything. Mark, thank you for imparting these life lessons on my students, and thank you for the gift that you bring to students around the country in telling your story. Again, congratulations on the award. Best wishes to you, and hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And thank you to all of our donors tonight who have made it possible to continue our mission to bring Holocaust education to people all over the country.
It's not too late to donate tonight. You can simply click the button or scan the QR code on your screen to help us empower through education. Our current grant cycle is now open and closes at the end of the month. If you are an educator or know one, it's not too late to submit an application. Visit our website, www.mshefoundation.org for more details.
Next up tonight is a word from one of our partners. Michael Cohen, the Simon Wiesenthal Center Eastern Director, has helped our father share his story through countless programs over the years. Tonight, Michael joins us to share a few words.
I want to congratulate Mark Schonwetter on receiving this incredible award this evening. Mark Schonwetter has been an inspiration. He has been somebody who has taken the most difficult of stories and used it to ensure that we can do better. He has worked tirelessly with the support of his family, his daughters, Isabella Fisk and Ann Arnold, to go wherever the lessons of the Holocaust need to be taught. Throughout the country, throughout the tri-state area, he has been there, working tirelessly to demonstrate what our social responsibility is in fighting hate. They have been such a powerful tool, Mark Schonwetter and the family, to make sure that there are people out there who are still willing to dedicate their time and their energy to helping make sure that never again truly means never again. I congratulate you, Mr. Schonwetter, on everything you've accomplished and wish you so many more years of health, success, and to continue to inspire our next generation and teach our youth those incredible and necessary lessons. Thank you. It's been a pleasure on behalf of the Simon Wiesenthal Center and myself personally to know you and to see your work firsthand. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, for those kind words about my husband and daughters. Finally, tonight, it's time to present our Voice of Kindness Award. It is my honor to introduce our presenter this evening, CBS sportscaster Tracy Wolfson.
Isabella, Ann, thank you so much for having me. I am just so honored to be part of the first annual Empower Through Education Gala. What you both have accomplished is just incredible. A chance to teach this generation and future generations about the past, to educate them, to make sure we never forget, and to ensure nothing like this ever happens again. Had Isabella and Ann, though, not reached out to me, I would have never had the opportunity to get to know Mark and hear his incredibly courageous story. In my job, I get a chance to be around some of the most recognizable athletes in the world. But it's these meetings that have the lasting impressions. I was just blown away by the bravery Mark showed in unfathomable circumstances at such a young age. In my job, we also talk about heroic athletes and their strength and their determination, but none of them are in the same league as Mark's mother, Sala. She was a real hero. Their family witnessed such hatred, but they also saw the compassion of others who helped them survive, and Mark has never forgotten about that. Even in the darkest times, he saw how bright the human spirit can be. One of his missions in life has been to share his story, while at the same time teaching the importance of kindness and love. And while it may sound simple, he reminds everyone he meets that if you live every day with love and not hatred, you will accomplish so much more in life. And these words are certainly appropriate today. So at this time, it is my great honor to present the first ever Voice of Kindness Award, recognizing an individual that through their work promotes empathy and compassion. No one is more deserving of this award than Mark Schonwetter.
In 1939, Mark Schonwetter was just a young boy when his life changed.
Germany invades Poland and
As the Germans invaded Poland, Mark's family was forced out of their home, made to move into a tiny one-bedroom house.
My father was the head of the Jewish community. He used to be called to the Polish police station. The Gestapo needed some information about the Jewish people who live in this town.
But one night, Mark's father didn't come home.
A woman knocks on the door and she tells my mom, I overheard the Gestapo going to take all the Jewish people and take them out from this town, take the two kids and try to escape.
So she did. Mark's mother fled with him and his sister, but were almost discovered at a friend's home.
He says, they're not here. So, well, the German tells him, the minute we find them, we're going to kill them and you.
Luckily, Mark's family wasn't found. For the next 3 years, with help from strangers, they hid wherever they could, in an attic, in the forest, and even in a pigsty. In 1945, the war was finally over and Mark's family returned to their village in Poland. 16 years later, Mark moved to the United States, got married, and began telling his story to his two daughters, Anne and Isabella.
Sharing those information with young people.
Today, Mark and his daughters are spreading his message of kindness and tolerance.
We are human beings. We all are the same.
We are joined now by Mark Schonwetter and his daughters, Anne Arnold and Isabella Fisk. And good morning to all of you.
Good evening, everybody. Let me start by saying there are no words to describe my gratitude to my daughters, Anne and Isabella, for their devotion and efforts to keep the memory alive of 6 million Jews and 5 million non-Jews that were killed during the Holocaust. And let me say thank you to my son-in-laws, John and Josh, for their support of their wives. And let me not miss my grandchildren, Ashley, Lexi, Jason, and Jared, for their support of their mothers. And of course, thank you to my wife for her support. Tracy, thank you so much for your kind words. I cannot describe how much this means to me, what you said. Pete, your songs were wonderful. You are a great guy, and thank you for all you said. Elise, Michael, thank you for you joining us and for all the work that you are doing. Also, thank you to the teachers for their dedication to the Holocaust education. As a Holocaust survivor, I am dedicating all my efforts to remember what happened during the Holocaust. Because if we don't remember, then those atrocities will repeat. I do not wish anyone, including the deniers, to go through the hell all that I went through. Our goal is not to build an Aryan society. It is to build an equal society. It makes no difference if you are black, brown, or white, if you are Christian, Muslim, or Jewish. We are all human beings. Our goal is not to live in hatred. Hatred could, God forbid, bring us back to the gas chambers. As human beings, we should all live together in peace and harmony. We should respect love and be kind to each other, because our life on this planet is a very short one. We can accomplish those goals by teaching the next generation. They are the future. To the memory of the 11 million people slaughtered by the Nazis, we have to make a commitment that those atrocities should never repeat. We are facing many obstacles on the way to achieve this. We have to promise not to give up. To all the attendees, thank you for showing up. Please spread this cause that we all want to achieve. I am honored to receive the Voice of Kindness Award. Please continue to spread the message. Live every day with love, not hatred, and you will accomplish so much more in life. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you, and good night.
Dad, congratulations. We are so proud of you.
Dad, we can't believe how much work you have done and all the efforts you have put in for this. And we are so happy and proud to say that we are your daughters. We love you. Congratulations.
Love you, Dad. Well, folks, that does it for us this evening. Thank you to everyone who donated, watched, and participated in our inaugural gala. It would not have been possible without all of you.
The Mark Schonwetter Holocaust Education Foundation will continue to empower through education to make sure we never forget so something as terrible as the Holocaust never happens again.
If we can touch one life or educate one person as we share our Father's message of love, kindness, and respect in the face of adversity, then we've made a world of difference. Hopefully, we can all go forward and spread that message.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. Have a great night, and we look forward to seeing you in person for our next gala. Cheers.